Welcome to the People Chronicles and this episode of Storied Women. My name is Anna Rosengara Milch, and I'm your host. And I'm also the author of Lunch with Lucille. Lunch with Lucille is an inspirational novel about how one woman's life journey impacted another woman's. On Storied Women, we bring women to talk to you about their life journey so that we can learn from them as well. Today, my guest is Dr. Donna Kulp. Welcome, Donna.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And we're going to learn her life story. So, you know the question. It's
Yes.
the same question.
Yes.
What is it that you want people to take away from our chat today? That lesson that you would like others to learn from your life story?
I think that women and people in general need to just learn that believing in themselves and you can believe in whatever you want to do, you can do.
Great. So in that belief in yourself is kind of that self-confidence that I can do this.
Absolutely.
Great. So tell us a little bit how you've come to that realization.
Well, I am the daughter of two teenage parents. They were young parents at 16 years old, and I was one of four siblings. And my father was a farmer, and his idea was work hard and you can pursue something, but we didn't have a lot of direction in pursuing careers or anything of that nature. And when I was
professional
careers.
Okay.
When I was a little girl, my dad asked me what I wanted to do, and I told him I wanted to be a doctor. And he quickly responded with, "People like us can't be doctors." Ooh. So he went on to say that I was a poor dirt farmer's daughter, and I could not be a doctor because we just weren't slated for that in life. So I bought that for a really, really long time.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went on and went through high school, married, and just assumed that I would find a job. And quickly we realized that that really was not my plight in life. My mother asked me one year when I was going to find a job that I really liked and stay put for a period of time, because I think one year I had like 14 jobs. And I really always had a passion for people and medicine and helping people in the healthcare. So I decided, I took a job working in a medical facility that had chiropractic, nutrition, and wellness. And I met this really dynamic woman, and she hired me. And I was just a clerk. I just filed papers and did odd and end jobs.
So how old are you when this is happening?
I'm in my early 20s at this time, probably. And
high school graduate, early 20s?
Yes.
Okay.
So she has me doing odd and end jobs, and she asked me then one day, would I like to go back to school and do some things working for her? So I went to school to learn how to do massage. I went to school to learn to do colonics, and I continued to work for her. And then after a period of time, I left there, and by this time I had just a taste of what women might be able to do. She was very, very independent, and she was a very strong woman, and she gave me a lot of confidence and also a lot of criticism along the way.
Good.
But directive criticism. And then I went and I found myself in a divorce, and I found myself struggling with what should I do. And obviously my father said, I could come home if I wanted to, but I should remember the door swings one way at his house, and out was usually that direction. But if I needed to for a short stay, I could go home. But at this point in my life, I decided that I really didn't want to do that. And I made a decision that I wanted to go back to school. And I had a dear friend, her name was Kathy, and she has since passed away. But Kathy had invited me to take a class. She said, I would like you to be a guest of this class in Philadelphia. And I went to the class with Kathy, and the first class was free, and it was really about finding out who you are and making the impossible possible. And Kathy was a biochemist and a very strong female that I had met along the way through some women's networking groups. And she invited me to take this course, and doing so, at the end of the class, they said it was $500. And I declined because I didn't have $500. Kathy calls me up the next day and she says, I'll give you $500. I really think you should go to this class, and then you'll pay me back. And some great inspiration. I took many of those courses along with her and myself, and that was the first step to opening up to saying I could do something. In one of those classes, they asked if I would make a declaration for what I wanted to do in life.
So you had, at that point in your life, before that, you had never made a declaration as to what you wanted to do in life?
No, I just did what came my way. If a job came along, I took it, and I was just grateful to have a job.
Okay.
That was my teaching. You know, you should just be grateful for what you had and move on from there. And I stood up and they said, think of something outrageous, something that's impossible, something that you don't foresee yourself doing. And I stood up and said I wanted to be a doctor. And I thought that would just be the end of it. So I made that declaration, and then there was a process that went along with making that declaration.
So somebody now is going to hold you accountable. You just can't stand up and say it. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. That was the first time in my life I think that somebody actually said, there's a plan, and if you want that, you can have that.
You can have it, sure.
And so I worked that plan, and I had a lot of accountability and a lot of homework to do. And I remember going down to RAC and making my decision to go to college there. By that time, I had also made a decision to open a small business to support myself as a single woman.
So this is Reading Area Community College when you say RAC?
Correct.
Okay, great.
So I went down and I took a class in psychology over the summer because I really didn't know if I was college material at that time.
So you had never taken a college course prior to that?
I had never taken a college course. And I started out with...
How'd you do in high school?
I did all right in high school. I mean,
Okay.
I just didn't have a direction for college, so I just...
Okay, but you were a student. You knew how to be a student.
I knew how to be a student.
Okay.
But it wasn't... I was never thought of myself as college material, so I just went along with the process. And I had no guidance from guidance counselors or anything like that along the way. And so I started at RAC, took that class, and took a class in Psychology 101, thinking, you know, I mean, how hard could that be? So I also worked.
How hard was that?
It was just more difficult being back in the school, working, and just understanding college lingo for somebody that had... I was the first person in my family that ever went to college.
Okay, wow, that's great.
So I had nobody that told me what a credit was, how many I had to have, how long I had to do this. I mean, it was a real learning experience from the get-go. And I met a lot of great people along the way, and I worked during the day and went to school either early in the morning before I went to work from 8 to 10, and then I would go back and do 6 to 10 classes at night. Hours, 6 to 10 rather. And that's how I got my undergraduate, and then I decided that, I mean, this was a plan all along that I was going to go then to chiropractic college. So I picked up one day and got a U-Haul and drove to Missouri. I had never been to the college.
Why not drive to Missouri? I mean, I think it's a great idea. We should all just get a U-Haul and go to Missouri.
I had no money to go tour the college.
And have no money. And go to Missouri.
I had no real funds to go out and tour the college. The college sent me a videotape back in those days.
An 8-track.
An 8-track tape, so I could watch the video and have a tour of the college and understand what the college was about. I worked closely with one of the professors out there, and she was just a great lady, giving me lots of confidence along the way. And my friend Kathy, who was the biochemist, she stayed with me the whole time, constantly saying, yes, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And so I graduated from chiropractic college in 1992, and I came back to Pennsylvania, and I had decided that I wanted to open a practice. By that time I had met my husband and we were married, and I wanted to open a practice, but he was really apprehensive about me opening a practice. He's never been in business or done anything such like that. So I took his advice and I worked for somebody for a short period of time, but that didn't turn out very well. I was in a very male-dominant profession. As a chiropractor, when I graduated, there was 120 students in my class, and 20 of us were women. The rest were men. So it's not very many women were in practice at the time. So with my chiropractor that I was working with, we had a little fallout mostly just about what women should do and what men should do, kind of, and I really never really bought into that whole idea. So I told my husband, I said, look, I'll work at McDonald's during the day and I'll open the practice at night, whatever I have to do, but I'm going to open a practice. And we celebrated 23 years last month of having a private practice. And it's been just lots of adventures, believing in myself, having other people, mostly I had other people believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I think having those strong women that mentored me along the way, that believed in me, was great. I had a woman at Chiropractic College. She had a lunchtime session just for women doctors or women doctors to be, that we would get together over lunch and she would help us with biomechanics, because women obviously aren't as physically strong as men in most cases, and we're built differently, and she'd teach us how to adjust people that were twice our size. And I had just some really sweet mentors along the way, and I think for me, if it wasn't for the strong women in my life, I wouldn't have been able to do this, because I didn't have that at home and I didn't have it anywhere else.
Yeah, and you're really blessed to find those mentors. The other thing, though, is to really be aware that what's going on. You know, sometimes we miss the opportunity. These wonderful women or wonderful people come into our lives, and yet we miss them. We don't listen to what they're saying. We don't watch them. We don't pick up on the lessons that they're, you know, when they're leading by example, we just kind of ignore it. But you really tuned into it. I mean, you were open to it, and that's really, really wonderful. So now I know that you have this practice. It's very successful. You're over on Route 10,
right? Morgantown Road.
Morgantown Road. And also, besides having the very successful practice, and you have other women working for you that you mentor, I know that.
Yes, I do.
Yes, that's wonderful. And then you, as an offshoot of that, though, you're not just a doctor in that sense. I know that you also are concerned about people's health, about what they put into their body, and that you have opened up a little store, right? A health food store out there too as well?
We do. We have a health food store and a wellness center where we do nutritional counseling and helping patients with their health needs in other ways. I never stopped learning since I started. I am finishing what they call a diplomate in nutrition right now. So I will have a postgraduate degree in nutritional counseling for patients, and we work with patients doing that on a daily basis right now. We have several massage therapists that work in our office there. So we offer just all-around wellness for patients. So if you have some health needs that need to be addressed, that's what we do.
That's wonderful. I appreciate you coming on today, Donna. I should call you Dr. Kulp, but I just call you Donna. Because I think what you do and the care that you were able to give to people, you couldn't do it unless you believe in yourself.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, you have to have that. I can do this. I mean, I can help you. You know, because if you don't believe in yourself, how are the people who are coming to you going to be able to transfer that, give that to you? You know, give themselves to you, and that trust that they put in you for you to help them. But you have built that in them.
And I had so many people come before me to build that into me, and I always say that I learned that from others before I had it myself. And sometimes somebody was holding my hand to get me to the point that I believed in myself enough that I could do it. And then once you have it forever. So you don't get it overnight.
That's right.
It takes practice, it takes time, and it takes confidence. And if we don't have it from the start, you can grow that. And it's something that you can nurture and you can feed and seed and grow it. And one of the best things I liked about your book, Anna Rose, was that your story of your mother and how she did that for other women. And that is just one of those things that I subtly like to do myself, trying to just, wherever you can plant those seeds. Some of us are seed planters and others are waterers and some are harvesters. And if we go through that process in life and just help other people, giving them that direction, I mean, that's how I got where I'm at today. And there was many people that came before me that I'm just grateful that they were willing to share what they knew with me.
And I'm so grateful that you came to share what you know with us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Donna. Thank you.